But yeah, like in that lifetime, majority of the babies that's been born after 1950 were all part of that war that originally took place in the Great Invasion of 1492. And my job in that invasion, like I said, I had an ancient mystery school set up in Alaska, where Alaska is now at, and they basically froze up, like the mystery school where we was at. They froze up. They killed us with the freeze. We was the first that they hit with the freeze. Like when we was in Alaska, we was the first they hit with the freeze, and then Antarctica, and then they really froze up a lot more of the planet. But then throughout the war, it was getting defrosted with the technology that was being used by our ancestors and the Nerubians during this galactic war that took place here. Y'all feel me? So, and that's what's going on now. That's what the Clone Wars is about. You feel me? It's about the original invasion that they did in 1492. You feel me? So, yeah, that's why I got that vengeance on me like that, y'all. When I be like, that's my soul. You know, my soul. I remember the past. Like, so I remember when they hit us. They killed us off guard. I remember how it happened and everything. Like I remember when they blew up the first energy tower, because I was standing there. We had, like, back then we didn't have buildings, right? We had city structures though. Like the whole structure of a city, they get that from us. But we didn't have buildings. We had like, I can't even put it into words because it's not an alpha beta system for it. But let me say we had shapes, and these shapes were consisted of billions upon billions of different crystallized golden energies and plasma energies and different rubies and sapphires and all this stuff. And everything was more highly charged back then because we was breathing in hydrogen. So I remember standing in my if you want to call it a house, but it wouldn't be a house. Way more advanced than what a house would be called today. But I was standing in my house. And my house was not too far from my mystery school that I had obstructed. Obstructed. So when the first tower was struck, the crystal chips that I had around my pineal gland was directly connected to that first tower. So, and a lot of gods that were under the red pigment, that had a red pigment, right? Because we was either red, blue, green, or rainbow. So a lot of the gods that had a red pigment, right? Because back then, I had a red pigment, and my avatar was red. Some of y'all was blue. Some of y'all was green. Some of y'all avatars was like, I say rainbow, red, blue, green. But mine was red. All right? So a lot of us that were, if you want to call red people with the red skin tones, our crystals was connected to that very first energy tower that they blew up. And that energy tower set right on the ocean, like where the ocean is right now, right outside of where present day Hawaii is at. That was a huge floating energy tower. All right, so the water was there, but we had literally energy towers that were floating on top of the water that would channel the water's frequency and then emit it up into the cosmos. So yeah, we was very, very advanced with things that I can't really explain in words right now because there's not words to explain them. But yeah, when they struck the first energy tower, it sent the ripple. I remember seeing the ripple. I remember smelling the smoke for the first time because we never knew what smoke smelled like. So when they came with the smoke with their machinery, the toxins from that smoke killed off a lot of us. And I remember struggling to breathe. You know what I'm saying? I remember the screams. I remember the confusion from us not knowing like what the fuck happened because we were metaphysically connected to certain towers. That's what the crystal chips did. So when they blew up the towers, a lot of us were separated, like we couldn't even recognize each other the same way because we were so confused. This is the story of the Tower of Babel that they speak about in their Bible. You get what I'm saying? So now I remember us being confused, and I remember me being a part of the ancient science temple, right? Even in the astral planes, that's how I'm one of the teachers, right? So, you know, I always had a different or a higher connection to the cosmos and energy. And not just me, other guys too. So I was a little more advanced than other. We all family, but let's just say other red people, right? I was a little more advanced, so it affected me, but it didn't stop me from being able to activate the plasma energies in me. So I remember activating the plasma energies. I remember blowing. Literally, I remember us blowing up their spaceships out the sky with using the highest form of a gamma radiation, which I can't even put a word into it, but the color would be a pinkish green. If you was to take pink and green and combine them together, that would be the color of the energies that we were using to blow up these spaceships that they had obstructed outside of all the portals that led to other realms.